Hello, welcome back to the Culture Pop, everybody. We had a little vacation break, and that was fun. Fred was sick, but I wasn't.
Yeah, it was less of a vacation for me and more of a, I don't want to show you guys what's in my stomach. So... You wouldn't have wanted me here last week.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good. No. But it was after the holidays and everything, so we deserved to take a little break. So
least of all for the carpet.
I forgot to change the thing, man. That's the only thing I forgot to do. We're on episode 31, by the way.
Yeah, we're 31, man.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to change that.
That's not right.
So what's been going on? What are we talking about this week?
You added the Mandela Effect to the thing.
Yes, I did add the Mandela Effect.
Did you give that a watch?
Yes, I did watch it. I actually watched it. What did you think?
I have a couple of problems and I have a couple of praises. It did shed a little bit of light onto the thing. It touched on all the stupid shit that I skipped past videos for, like the fucking Berenstain Bear shit or the Stein or Stein or however the hell they want to pronounce it.
We're talking about the new Mandela Effect movie, by the way, not like
not the actual
theory, but the. I mean, it has to do with that, but
handed. But
anyway.
And they did touch on the whole Star Wars thing and all the stupid shit that every video that is about the Mandela Effect on YouTube talks about. But my biggest problem with the movie, anytime you put technology into a movie, you immediately date it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had a problem believing that some programmer with a fucking IBM sitting in his bedroom was going to hack the code of the fucking universe and just erase everything and start it all over. I had a problem believing that. I mean, I think about movies that try doing that. Think about Hackers.
Yeah.
Or how
which was
accurate,
a classic, yeah.
How accurate does The Net with Sandra Bullock feel today?
Oh, God, I didn't know it's horrible. It was bad then.
Right? Like I said, you immediately date yourself when you put technology, modern technology into a film, and that was my biggest problem with the movie.
Yeah.
I did like how they were touching on the concept of multiple realities.
Yes,
and that's one of the things I've brought up several times in the past regarding the Mandela Effect. That I think that it does involve multiple realities.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only way you can pose it. I mean, if it is an actual thing, an actual phenomenon or whatever. That I mean, the only difference would be that it is different realities, because I mean, if you're seeing things differently,
right? And he just I don't want to get spoilers in case you actually want to watch it, which I'm not going to say don't and I'm not going to say do. I'm going to say if you're bored some night, put it on. Because it was okay, it was decent. I liked it. I enjoyed the movie.
I liked it. I thought my problem with it is it felt like a Black Mirror episode, in the way that it was only an hour and 18 minutes long, and I could have used way more. There was like it's like they started touching on stuff near the last 15 minutes of the movie, and it was like, wait a minute, don't end here. I want to see more stuff.
There's not enough time to cover this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but I did like the way the movie progressed with him. His daughter. Basically, the guy's daughter dies, or I don't know. You can't really tell from the ending, but the daughter dies, and he starts experiencing all these Mandela effects, and kind of goes. He's a computer game programmer,
video game programmer. Yes. And he figures if the universe is a simulation, he runs across some guy's research and discovers this guy's research is all about the universe being a simulation.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of different theories that he runs across regarding the Mandela Effect and why it's happening. But the one he latches onto the most is a computer simulation representing our reality, and that's why he gets it into his head that since, hey, I'm a programmer at a video game company, I can hack the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
And bring my daughter back. And that's where it lost me.
And that's what it was it kind of ticked me off, because the effects and stuff, like the manipulations that they used towards the end to experience when he changed it, supposedly the timelines, was really cool. Some of the stuff they did was really neat.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I was like, more of this. Come on, let's see more of what's going on.
Movie should have been, but they spent an hour with backstory. I guess it was necessary backstory, but they drove it home too much, I think.
Yeah.
They spent too much time dwelling on it.
Yeah, I did really like. I did not know Robin Lord Taylor is in this, and if anybody knows him, he was the Penguin in Gotham. I really like him as an actor. This is like the third thing I've seen him in besides Gotham.
Surprised to see that too, and pleased.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. And the other guy, I'm not sure who he is or what he was in. The main actor, I don't know if he was in anything else, but he did a good job. Everybody did what they were supposed to do.
I forget who I kept thinking that was.
He did look familiar to me too,
Right.
and I have no clue if I've seen him in something else before, but
I do. I remember watching the movie, and I remember looking up the movie on IMDb on my phone while I was watching it, and seeing him and not recognizing the name, but thinking it was somebody else.
Yeah,
I just can't remember who the somebody else was.
I don't either, but I do know that when I was watching it, I kind of like at the very beginning, it kind of gave me I like those movies that give me like a feeling of not dread necessarily, but a feeling of like, wow, something's going to happen. And for the first like hour of this movie, you feel that way, kind of. I mean, you're kind of on the edge of your seat. You're kind of like, and I thought the guy, the African American guy who played, who was that? What's that guy's name?
I forget.
I thought it was Morgan Freeman when I saw the ads, but then I realized it wasn't.
There's more than one black guy in Hollywood.
I know. Yeah, I know. There's Samuel L. Jackson, right?
Yeah, I was going to say it must have been him then.
No, but he was really good, and he really got my, I was like, when he went to meet this guy, now we're going to start getting into some shit, and kind of did, but like I said, it left me short. It left me feeling short, but I did like the movie as a whole. It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it, and I'm not regretting that I did. There was just a few little things that I had issues with. It did exactly what I was afraid it was going to do.
What's that?
It took the phenomenon and it made it fictionalized and ridiculous in a certain way.
Yeah.
So that when you do talk about the actual phenomenon and try to have a serious discussion about it, the person you're talking to is most likely going to look at you and say, "Oh, you mean that stupid fucking movie where dumb shit is?"
Yeah, and I figured it would get a little bit more airplay, but a bit more acknowledgement or marketing, but they're doing no marketing for it, so I don't really see that happening with the effect, because I don't think a lot of people are seeing it. If you're, comment in the things if you've seen it. Comment in our section if you've seen it, or if you want to see it, we'll tell you about it. Whatever. But it's pretty good. Chris Dorman is the guy's name.
I think. Let me see.
Is that the
first name I saw?
Like I said, man, Robin Lord Taylor just knocked it out of the park. But
right.
he was only in it a bit. I don't know why. I just like him.
He was in it enough. He gave the sane voice to the whole crazy research thing.
Exactly.
And I've gone down that rabbit hole myself quite a few times too.
I still don't know, man. After seeing the movie, and then I did some research after that. There's a lot of stuff that I think is misremembered. I think the Star Wars thing is misremembered. It always has been.
And then again, if it is a parallel reality thing, then maybe you just come from the parallel reality where that's
you could be right.
Always been.
Yeah, you could be right. But I mean, the stuff that I was seeing and the stuff that I did look at in my research for it just kind of brought me to the point of, this is just a lot of misremembering shit. I mean, I'm into those deep things where you go down those wormholes. And this is a wormhole that the more I went down it, the more I thought, I mean, there is some weird stuff that you can't explain, but a lot of it is just, you just misremembered. Like the genie thing with Sinbad and all that shit.
It was people mistaking Shazam for Kazam.
Yeah. And maybe we're also thinking of the fact that his name is Sinbad. Maybe we're just getting that weirded out. You know what I mean?
Or the one that I like was the Monopoly guy with the monocle. He looks...
I believe in.
The artwork looks very similar to Mr. fucking Peanut, though.
Yeah, yes,
and Mr. Peanut does have a monocle.
But I swear to God, I remember a monocle in that.
I don't.
I remember him wearing a monocle when I played that game when I was a kid.
I think there's multiple parallel
so that's
side by side. And
it's really weird.
I've gone down that theory before. But you know what? IMDb cannot be trusted right now. Because the official description for this movie...
Oh, jeez.
The plot is unknown at this time.
I did look that up to look somebody up in the movie.
It just said the plot is unknown at this time.
Well, the plot is about the Mandela Effect, just so everybody knows.
In case you couldn't tell by the title of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. The plot is about the Mandela Effect and everything that happens with it and in that realm of society or whatever. But yeah, after I watched it, that's basically what I thought. I thought this would have been a great Black Mirror episode.
You know, I'm going to agree with that. I've only seen a couple episodes of Black Mirror. I need to go through that whole series sometime.
And
it's pretty amazing.
I almost think that it was written as something like that, and then they just decided, oh, this is a huge thing. We need to make this into a movie instead. You know what I mean?
They do that a lot, actually.
Yeah. So it could have been. I don't know. It could have been.
I do need to watch some Black Mirror, though. I love that episode, that one that started, I think it was the 3rd season with the Star Trek thing.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Gamer one is one you want to watch, too.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen that or not.
You
but
were talking about that before. I do want to see that one.
Yeah, the Gamer one, not the Gamer one with the two guys playing the game together. Not that weird one. The Gamer one from way back where the guy's a gamer head, or he's a gamer or whatever, and he goes or gets accepted. It's been a while since I've seen it, to this special gaming thing they want him to try out.
I know.
So he goes there, and they put him in this house. They said, you'll be in this house. They like put this virtual reality thing. You'll be in this house, and all the stuff in the house is, I don't know if they say it's not real, but it's made to, manipulate you or whatever. And there's some of the weirdest stuff in that one. There is a monster in it that is a spider with a human head. That is one of the creepiest things I've seen outside of movies or anything. I mean, it is one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
That just sounds like pure nightmare fuel for some people.
And I can't remember who the guy is, but he's been in a ton of stuff. He's a long blonde-haired guy. A long blonde-haired guy. Long-haired guy. I don't know what his damn name is.
Why did I immediately think of the guy that would not die from the end of Die Hard?
That's what's his name? That's the ballerina dancer.
Yes,
I can't remember ballerina, but whatever. But what the hell? Goose. Oh, he has a Russian name.
I know his name.
Damn it, I can't think of it.
I just forget it.
But yeah, it's funny you should say that. No, he's been in a lot of stuff. I don't know if you saw 21 Jump Street 2. He was in that.
You talking about the movies or the TV series?
The movie.
Yeah, I skipped those. I have absolutely no interest.
I don't know why. They're funny, dude. Oh. They're hilarious.
Was the original show funny?
No, but who cares?
That's probably why. It's like.
But I didn't like the original show, but I ended up liking the movies, so.
It's like the opposite of what they did with the A-Team, actually. They took the silly show and they made it into an action movie that was actually kind of cool. That movie was underrated.
I thought so, too. I thought it was a great movie. I thought everybody played their parts. Yep. Everybody was perfect.
And they even nodded to the original series with the end credits thing with fucking cast members showing up in different roles. And
I can remember when I found out Liam Neeson was playing Hannibal, I was like,
really?
But then when I saw him, man, I was like, this is perfect, man. This is just like Hannibal.
It's safe to say that when they thought this movie up, their plan came together.
Yeah, and I don't see why it didn't get enough respect. I mean, it was
Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel. Why Jessica Biel?
People don't take her seriously.
Oh, that's right. She played. What'd she play? Amy, or what? The character's name was Amy in the show.
The character's name, and that's the problem.
Okay.
You don't take a non-memorable character and then just stuff her right in the middle of your movie and expect everybody to remember.
I remember her from the original show, and when I heard her name was Amy, but I can't remember if it was that in the movie or not.
I didn't know she was in the original show.
Yeah, there was a girl that helped them. It was probably like 3rd, 4th season. She came in and she started helping them all the time, getting them new clients and stuff like that. And she was like their buddy and helped them out.
That show all the time. I used to love
I love that show.
We had a channel on our satellite dish. This was back before DirecTV, when you had like Sat 1 and Sat 2. And Nav 1 and Nav 2, and you had to point your thing, and there was like 5 channels per satellite.
Yep.
Back then, we had one station on there that just played nothing but fucking A-Team constantly.
I wish I had that now. That's awesome. TV Land was playing it there for a while in the afternoons, like forever. And then they stopped playing it, but I haven't seen it in a while. I just remember it was always, you would watch every episode, even though every episode was the same damn thing. Exactly. And I mean, they made so much money off of building AK-47s. That's all they ever used. And like nobody ever got shot. Nobody was ever bloody. There was just car crashes.
Right.
It was amazing how they got away with all that.
Empty violence, and we as kids just ate it up.
We loved it. I remember we used to play A-Team when we were kids.
I had all the action figures. I had the little van place.
God, I wish I would have.
I had a fucking punching bag with.
Oh man, oh man. See, that's all the kind of cool stuff I wanted back then.
Right. Well, I didn't get it very often.
So we're off Mandela Effect now. We'll get on 18 there for a minute.
But yeah, I was going to say, I remembered one more thing about back then. Back then, we didn't get any stations on Time Warner Cable in line with it carried Star Trek: The Next Generation. Oh. And that bugged me until we got the satellite dish, and there was one fucking station that had Star Trek: The Next Generation on it. The problem with this station, when you switch to this station, it would play for 30 seconds, and then a big black box would cover the screen, and the sound would go out.
I remember that.
It would say, you have to subscribe to this channel.
Yes.
But if you hit a button on the remote, it made that fucking box go away.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would wait until Star Trek The Next Generation was going to play, and I would just sit there and spam the fucking button until the commercial played.
I remember that black box. I do remember that.
And then rest my fucking thumb for a minute and a half while the commercial played, and then right back to spamming that fucking button. And that was the only way I could watch Star Trek back then.
Number 2, or let's go to the next thing. We had a lot to talk about since we had a week off.
Yeah, we had a week.
But there is one thing that I wanted to bring up, and I'm sorry I have to bring it up. We won't talk about it long, but
what are we doing?
Star Wars. I'm going to talk about The Mandalorian for a minute because we haven't talked about it since. Well, I know some people are getting exhausted with Star Wars because it's everywhere right now.
It is everywhere.
When you go on YouTube, it's everything. I mean, the movie's been done, out, it's made its money pretty much, and they're still talking about it. But what I want to talk about is The Mandalorian. What did you think of the whole entire series?
I love that entire series from start to finish. My only problem with it are the memes.
Yeah,
Baby
there's
Yoda,
a ton of them.
Baby Yoda is already cute. I just posted this on Facebook today.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda is already cute. I find it eye-rollingly tacky that people have to try to make him cuter with baby talk.
Oh, I haven't seen any of those.
It's like he's always going after the cheeky nuggies, you know?
Yeah, oh, see, I haven't seen any of the baby talk. The one that I saw that was really good, that I thought was, I mean, I've seen a couple, but the one that I saw that really actually made me laugh out loud was him with the little bag of McDonald's. Yeah. And it said me in 4th grade after coming back from my doctor's appointment, because everybody did that when they were a kid.
See, now the ones I'm talking about would take that same concept, but say with chicky nuggies.
Yeah, see, no,
and it's like, no, you don't need to make him cuter. He's already fucking
exactly,
cute.
Yeah.
It's like the videos of the fucking dog where they have to put the little closed
It's all right.
Where they have to put the little closed captions at the bottom with the dog speaking baby talk to make him seem cuter. The dog's already fucking adorable.
Yes.
You do not need to try to add to that. It just makes you seem like you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. I know. Yeah, I haven't. Luckily, I passed by those, or I haven't seen them. But just the ones that I've seen are just hilarious, and it's going to carry on. I'm hoping it's going to carry on until they actually get the stuff out, the merchandise, and people are going to buy it. Oh yeah, that was dumb. That was a dumb mistake.
Well, I know that they wanted to keep the whole Baby Yoda thing a secret until the end of the first episode, but you'd think that they would have at least told some fucking toy manufacturers, by the way, get your fucking shit ready because we're about to throw something at you that's going to be huge. You know they knew.
I don't, man, see, I still don't, I mean, I know they knew that it was going to be cute, but on the other hand, maybe they thought that it wasn't going to go as well as, like, The Mandalorian itself was not going to go as well because of the past problems they've been having.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe they didn't want to put,
But they got the guy in charge of arguably the best Star Wars on TV up until this point, Dave Filoni. And they got the guy who kickstarted the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe to make a Star Wars show. How did they not figure? Yeah. They knew what they were fucking doing.
Not to mention the fact that
they had the ingredients just right.
A lot of people, I mean, he's had, just talk about him for a second, Jon Favreau's had a brilliant career.
Yes.
I mean, he started with Swingers.
Oh, yes.
Made was a good movie. I mean, all the Vince Vaughn movies he made that he wrote and directed.
I was going to say, he is just as good behind the camera as he is in front of the camera.
Yeah. And so many people don't realize, that he did all that stuff beforehand.
He's got his hands in a lot of pies.
I mean, I kind of saw it in Zathura. I mean, when he made Zathura, which wasn't really well received, I guess.
That was the other Jumanji.
Yeah, but it really, but the effects in it and everything, you could tell he could go on to do something.
And it stands up to this day, too. It was a damn good movie.
Yeah.
Again, though, it was the other Jumanji. Nobody fucking watched it because Robin Williams was too iconic in the other movie that did the same thing.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, now we've got 2 Jumanjis out that are huge.
Well, they got 4 iconic actors to replace Robin Williams. I want it noted, it took 4 popular, iconic actors to replace Robin Williams.
You're right.
You needed, and one of them had to be the fucking Rock. You needed the Rock involved.
You always need the Rock involved. You always need the Rock involved. What did you think about?
It's the Scorpion King, then maybe not. Because
what do you think about the helmet reveal? Because I kind of didn't like it
that they took the helmet off in the last. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad they waited to the last episode if they were going to do
That
it.
was good.
You know? And they're probably never going to take it off again.
The problem, I hope not,
He'll
because
spend way more time with that on than he does with it off.
And I never saw the guy. I didn't know who he was. What was he in before?
He was in Game of Thrones.
Okay, see, and I never watched Game of Thrones.
He was
so
the prancing fighter guy in Game of Thrones that got his fucking eyes gouged out by the mountain.
So I never saw him. So when they did finally take the helmet, I thought to myself, I looked at him and I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. But then I thought to myself, I just thought it was dumb, because there's no way you can match by anybody's face the brutality, not brutality necessarily, but the fighter that he is. There's no face that would have come underneath that helmet that would have said, wow, he is a badass. It was just kind of a letdown. Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it. You can't do that, because what iconically speaking, aesthetically speaking, what is it that indicates a fucking badass?
I know, I understand. Yeah.
He's wearing a helmet all the time. He's not going to have scars all over his fucking face.
Oh, no. I didn't assume that.
He's going to be a fucking pretty boy. It's like if you wear fucking gloves at work all the time, your hands are going to be soft.
I'm not even saying he was a pretty boy. To me, he just looked kind of plain. And I was like, put the helmet back on, dude. Come on, just put it back on.
Rest assured, they are probably going to have him spend more time in the helmet than out of it.
I would very much hope so. And I mean, like we said, they waited till the very last minute. And it was only for 30 seconds that they had it off. So
even that, like 10.
Yeah, so it wasn't a big deal. But
there it is, and goodbye.
I'm telling you what, this show has given me more chills than any of the recent Star Wars movies.
It's given me more to think about than any of the recent Star Wars movies.
Yes.
It's given me more to enjoy with Star Wars than I've gotten since, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I've been saying that from episode 1. Mm-hmm. Not The Phantom Menace. Episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And it's been the best Star Wars that I've seen since the mid 80s.
Yeah, it's very good, and it's very well put together. Oh God, I got the burps. It's very well put together, and it's very everything from the music, which is so Star Wars but yet so different.
That was my biggest praise for it, actually. I was talking with somebody at Rapid Fire about this when I was working last week, actually. They didn't try to emulate John Williams. Everything Star Wars, from the Old Republic MMO video game to the Knights of the Old Republic video games to the Clone Wars TV series, the cartoon, everything with the musical score tries to emulate John Williams, and you can always tell that they're trying to imitate John Williams. This didn't, and it worked.
Yes, it did. Very much so. I mean, it's completely... I wouldn't mind having the soundtrack. I mean, it's very completely
absolutely
different. I mean, it's that mixture of Star Wars aesthetic, but with that old spaghetti Western stuff. I mean, and I don't even know who the guy is. Do you know who the guy is that did the music? I'd like to know.
I would look it up on IMDb, but this thing is a piece of shit. I had to actually type in Mandela Effect and then sit it down for like a minute and a half while it loaded. So, and you can rewind this and you can watch me do that. I typed in Mandela Effect and sat the phone down because I just knew it was going to take for fucking ever. I hate this goddamn thing.
Oh boy! All right, are we done with Mandalorian or
I will say
Mando?
I will say that if I had the soundtrack, that might be the first thing that I got in like a month now that would cause me to take the Tool CD out of my car.
No, there you go.
I've been listening to Fear Inoculum constantly.
Is that the new Tool song or the new Tool?
That is the new
I've
Tool
listened.
CD.
I've heard bits and pieces
amazing.
of it, but I'm just not enough into Tool to listen to new stuff. I'm just so kind of.
That's fair.
I don't know. I mean, but speaking of that, we got to talk about something. I mean, major. It just happened a couple days ago, but Neil Peart just died.
Even if you don't like Rush, and there are plenty of people out there that I know who do not like.
Yeah,
Rush.
I don't like Rush at all, but I understand what I know
he was one of the best drummers of all time.
He was.
I went and saw Rush in 1997 at Polaris Amphitheater in Columbus, and it was actually the day before Marilyn Manson incited the riot that got Polaris torn down.
Yeah,
a buddy of mine actually went with us to both shows. He went with us to the Rush show, and then he went the next day to the Marilyn Manson concert, and he brought a piece of Polaris back with him. Neil Peart did a half an hour long drum solo.
Oh yeah,
and didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah,
they practically had to lower that guy into his drum kit. It was so huge.
Yeah.
Just lower him into the center of it, and he would just sit there and swivel and just fucking...
Yeah.
The most amazing goddamn sounds would come out of that thing. He was a god amongst men.
Yeah, there's a few drummers in the world that really are drummers, and he's definitely probably at the top of the list. And then you've got like Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater.
Right.
You've got John Bonham, of course, from Led Zeppelin. You've got Bill Ward doesn't get enough, but Bill Ward from Black Sabbath. I mean, he pretty much invented jazz form metal. I mean, he was a jazz drummer, and he took that jazz knowledge and made it into this, really heavy metal stuff.
So that's a sign of talent right there. That's a sign of talent, serious talent.
And with Neil Peart, I mean, like I said, he's got to be at the top of the list of drummers, people who are real drummers, obsess over him, and people, like us that are fans know how good he is.
How old was he? Like 60?
He was only 67.
67?
But I guess he had been suffering from brain cancer for like the last 3 years.
Well,
and so
that does tend to do it in the end, doesn't it?
And that really sucks because at 67, I mean, you look at these guys like, Kiss and the Rolling Stones. I mean, the Rolling Stones are in their 70s.
I mean, fuck, Gene Simmons is still out there getting laid.
Yeah, and they could have went longer. That's what sucks. I know. Is it wasn't like he was 80 because they probably had at least 5 more tours in them, at least, and maybe an album or two.
AC/DC just refuses to put their instruments down.
Yeah, I know exactly, but I don't find a problem with that though. That's just me.
they're every single fucking song after Bon Scott is just interchangeable.
Now come on.
I don't like them. I'm just saying the only time I actually stop and listen to an AC/DC song is when fucking Tony Stark's playing one in a Marvel movie. Okay,
jeez.
And that's just because I have no choice because I want to see the movie. I've
goodness,
I've heard them all.
Something I want to talk about real quick, as far as we're like I said, we'll probably be going clear to topic to topic. But there was some stuff, speaking of music and speaking of, Neil Peart and stuff and classics and stuff like that. I got a turntable for my wife for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And
she did mention
I always said that I wouldn't, I've always been one of those types of people, honestly, who said, I want to hear the music the way that I want to hear it, which is on CD or digital or whatever, because that's the best possible way to hear it. I used to bitch and moan about people who were all getting into the turntable craze and stuff, because I was a turntable guy way back in the day. And I was just like, why do you want to go back to that? Why do you want to go back to that? I found out why you want to go back to it. Even if you don't have the best sound equipment in the world, because I know a lot of people are into tube amps and all that stuff. I'm telling you what, when I put that first record on, especially, I went to Gromy's and I bought a couple of used records, nice. And we got some new stuff for Christmas. But when I put some of the old stuff on, the used stuff, and you hear that crackle, and you hear that, man, it does. It's like a whole experience. It literally is like a ritual, like taking that record out, putting it on there, putting the needle down.
It reminds me of a moment from my childhood, actually. My mother came back from a garage sale, or no, it was an auction, and she had a huge box just full of vinyl. And I dug through the thing, and it was just full of that folk shit and country shit that I just can't stand. But 2 things stood out. I got an original pressings of The Doors, Morrison Hotel, and Tommy's The Who.
Oh,
that was my introduction. That was my introduction to rock on vinyl, and
that's awesome.
For years. And just recently, actually, maybe a few years ago, I got my wife a copy of Abbey Road, an original pressing of that too.
Oh wow! The really cool thing that they're doing with vinyl now.
Play it on yet though? I got to get her on.
Yeah, back in my day, vinyl what we used to call picture discs, with the pictures on them. They were few and far between. Like, they were collectibles. Now, because vinyl's so big again, they're doing all kinds of stuff with vinyl. I mean, half the stuff that I bought in the last week is either like clear vinyl. I got her Bob Seger's Greatest Hits, and they're both clear vinyl. The Motley Crue that I have, or that I got is green vinyl. Nice. I got a Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's two EP. It's two records or albums, whatever. And on the 4th album, the 4th side, you put it on the turntable and you put a light on it, and it has a hologram.
I just recently saw one. It was one of the Star
Wars one, yes,
with a fucking hologram of a TIE fighter floating over top of it.
Yep.
I had not seen that until that.
That is so amazing
that I saw that.
I didn't even know the Guns N' Roses one that I got came with it.
That's crazy.
And I put it on and I was like, it's not working. And then I put the flashlight on it and I was like, oh my God, I want to touch it. It's, it's so cool. And it's not, so that's the other thing that's really neat is they're doing a lot of different things with vinyl now, not just the music. Yeah.
They've modernized it. I do think vinyl was the superior sound quality, honestly.
But I also think that we might be heading towards the apocalypse because of that.
Well, there's a Tool song about that too.
The reason that I say that is because it seems like we're going back to a lot of the old physical media. When I was in there and talking to Gromy, I mean,
they can keep their standard definition VHS though.
Cassettes are huge.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Cassettes?
Vinyl is huge.
So I can see vinyl.
And what's the other thing that I was going to say? My daughter just bought a Polaroid camera, or an actual real Polaroid camera, and they're selling like hotcakes.
Wow.
I mean, they have, like, if you go to the mall, there's a couple of different places in the mall that has Polaroids.
See, I'm really hoping the cassette thing doesn't take off, though. That's got me concerned. My only memories at all of cassettes are of my fucking tape players eating those motherfuckers.
I never had a problem with that much.
I had to, and maybe that's why they're going back to it. They're brainwashing people to go back to tapes. They are, because I bought 3 copies of the Black Album because my shit kept getting eaten.
Really?
I bought 3 copies of Metallica's Black Album for them.
Wow. Yeah, they are coming back. I don't know. I mean, that's not nothing I would really get into. I mean, but because cassettes were always made for more portability than anything, and now that you already have portability with your phone and stuff, I don't understand that. But I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are buying like old hi-fi systems and stuff like that, and they're using their cassettes and their albums and all that stuff now.
Again, I can see the vinyl.
It's just, but the Polaroid camera kind of freaked me out. I'm just like, man, we're really going back like in time now. We're getting all this physical media, and everything's pretty much at your fingertips right here. And I don't know if it's just because people like to own stuff or what, but
I do kind of prefer physical media. I do. I don't like owning a movie digitally. We own the remake of Aladdin on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. We bought it there.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'm kicking myself because Disney Plus has it available now to watch for fucking free if you subscribe to their fucking service. But
which Aladdin? The original Aladdin or
no? The remake
one with Will Smith. Okay.
Yeah, and whatever the fuck his name is. And the hottest person to ever fucking put a Jasmine costume on ever.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, but it's the truth. And she knows it. Where was I going with that? Physical media. Yeah. Sorry, I'm
no, you're right. You're all right.
So great myself. Yeah, physical media. We got it. We eventually did get it for Christmas. We got a DVD copy of it to put up on our shelf for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Because my thinking is, if you've got all digital media and you have to stream that shit,
yeah.
What if you can't pay your internet and it goes out?
Yeah, yeah.
What have you got? What are you going to do? Read?
Yeah, it's
Nobody fucking does that anymore.
Well, you know me. I mean, I have a ton of stuff on Vudu, and a lot of the stuff that I have on Vudu is stuff that I transferred over from my actual Blu-ray collection, because they had a deal, and you can still do it, but they have a deal where if you own the Blu-ray copy, you can scan it and you can buy it for like $2 on digital.
I like that.
Well, my thing was that
you've got quite a few things on there too, and I'm grateful that you let me use that, because you've got quite a few things on there that I own, but I don't always feel like digging the disc out.
See, that's my thing.
That's the good thing about digital media.
Yeah.
Is that you don't always feel like digging the fucking disc out and messing with it.
Yeah.
But I do like to have it on hand.
That is what does worry me, though. I mean, what happens when there's some big apocalyptic happening or something and everything shuts down? That I'm fucked. But I mean, I still have a lot of I have things on physical media that you can't get on like Vudu or Amazon and stuff like that. Like that you can't get any of the Prince movies on HD on any of those places. Really? No, none of them except for Purple Rain. But I'm a huge fan of all the other Prince films like Graffiti Bridge. I can't remember what the black and white one was called. Under a Cherry Moon.
Under a Cherry Moon.
Yeah, I love those movies. So I bought them in a pack. Oh, and Sign of the Times, which is probably one of the best concert films ever. But you can't get those anywhere on HD, so I saved those and stuff like that. So,
and it took me 20 years to realize that Graffiti Bridge was actually a sequel to fucking Purple Rain.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was the same character in that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It just looks so different, and the music is so different.
Yeah, it is. It's a very different.
The whole tone of the movie is different.
Yeah, it's very different, but yeah, it basically is a sequel.
80s versus 90s is what it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a good movie, I think. I mean, it's a good musical.
I actually preferred it to Purple Rain.
I don't know if I did go that far, but but I did. Yeah, I did like it. I really liked it.
That was the first one I saw. So.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean,
and that's usually the case. It's like the first Bond you ever see. It's like that's going to wind up being, even if you realize later on in life that other Bonds were better.
Yes,
that's the one you're always going to love.
Yep. Oh
It's like with Doctor Who. That's the same thing. I love Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor in that series that came back in 2005. But I will admit, David Tennant was the best of the new Doctors, and even there might have been a couple of other Doctors from the old days that were better than Christopher Eccleston. But he was my first, therefore my favorite.
I'm hearing a lot of griping or negative shit about the woman that's playing it now. Is that a problem?
It's not her fault.
Okay.
She's only got what she's got. You know, she can't work with anything but what they give her to work with, and they're not giving her very good shit to work with.
Okay.
The word I've been seeing float around is it's too woke.
Oh, so you haven't watched any of it at all?
I've seen the first half of her first season, but I stopped after that. And it wasn't for any of that woke shit. My biggest problem was the writing. It seems like the doctor should be front and center. No matter what. That's the main character. They named the fucking show after the doctor. Him or her doesn't matter. They named the show after the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
So the doctor should be fucking front and center. And in her series, and so far I haven't seen anything past like the halfway point of her first season, but she seems like a passenger on the journey. Everybody else,
okay. I see what you're saying.
There's equal amounts of screen time for everybody else, and I guess that's fine and good. But she seems like more of an observer.
Okay.
She's not. The doctor should be the one that jumps in front of everybody and says, "I got this shit."
Yeah, exactly.
And the doctor doesn't stand back and say, "You guys go ahead and do this shit. I'm just going to stand back here until you absolutely fucking need me." And that's not the doctor.
Okay. See, I knew I mean, because I've never been into it. I remember my mom watched the old one back in the day on PBS. But that's the only one I'm familiar with.
I never saw any Doctor Who until 2005.
Really?
If you can get, and I'll tell you this, the special effects are fucking horrible in Christopher Eccleston's season. If you can get through it, it was my favorite season.
Really?
Story wise, and it leads into some pretty fucking amazing shit.
Really?
All the way through Matt Smith, I'd say. Peter Capaldi, he was okay. He was decent.
How many doctors have they had?
They're on like 13 now.
Are they really? Jeez.
This is the longest running sci-fi show in history.
Yeah. I knew that.
It's amazing.
I know, because like I said, my mom, I just remember the cheesy monsters and stuff, or not really monsters that were back in the 70s or whatever when she was watching it.
But you know what, though? Unlike James Bond, though, they explain why there's a different person playing the doctor all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
But with James Bond, though, I still agree with the fact that the theory of that 007 is just a title. I think if you put that in perspective,
I like that.
Then you realize why there's different ones.
But they don't actually say that, though.
No, they don't. But
when William Hartnell left the role of the Doctor in the 60s as the first Doctor, they actually said, well, you know what? People aren't going to accept this new fucking guy. They're not going to accept Patrick Troughton as the fucking Doctor because they're so used to seeing this other guy. And he looks different. He acts different. He behaves different.
Yeah.
Let's just write that into the story.
Yeah.
When the Doctor's about to die, he regenerates every cell in his body and becomes a completely different person with the same memories.
Okay.
I get it. It keeps on going. That's how he's over 900 years old at this point. You know?
Wow.
And he just keeps on going.
Yeah, see, I didn't, like I said, I'm not that familiar with it. I didn't understand that, but...
They actually explained it away, and there's regeneration scenes where it just shows the Doctor changing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now that's kind of cool that they would do that. I had no idea.
When the third Doctor, John Pertwee, who, by the way, his son, Sean Pertwee, was Alfred Pennyworth on Gotham.
Okay, yeah. His
father was the third Doctor.
Okay.
When he died, and then there's always like a funny scene, too, involving the Doctor's regeneration.
Yeah.
When he regenerated into the fourth Doctor, which was Tom Baker, there was this whole montage where the Doctor kept dipping into the TARDIS and coming back out in a different fucking outfit, and it was always some ridiculous shit, like he'd go in and come out dressed as a fucking pirate. It's like, no, not this one, and he'd go back in and he'd come out dressed as a fucking clown.
Really?
It's like, not this one either.
See, I'm so unfamiliar with it. I mean, like I said, I saw it when I was older, but yeah, I know that it's a huge following and a huge deal. The fact, like you said, it's the longest running sci-fi show ever.
Right.
And
it is.
I mean, how long has it been on? I mean,
63,
was it 60s? Yeah,
63. I think was when the Unearthly Child aired. That was the first episode of William Hartnell's run.
Wow.
And it involved, it was basically just a strange girl going to school, and her teachers couldn't figure out why she was so strange. They thought that she was having problems at home, so they followed her home. But when they followed her home, she wound up going into a junkyard and walking into a telephone booth. And like, what the fuck? So they go in there, and of course, the doctor is her father.
Okay.
And the doctor won't let these people leave. He was kind of a dick back then. He's like, well, you fucking seen too much. It's clear on the inside. You can't leave now. You're just stuck with me when we travel through time and space.
So that is, explain to me, because like I said, I'm not that familiar. What is the TARDIS that I see everywhere? Is that the thing they travel with?
That stands for, actually, it was Barbara. It was I think it was his granddaughter, actually. Not his daughter. Not his daughter, his granddaughter. She's the one that came up with the term TARDIS in those early episodes. And it stands for Time and Relative Dimension in Space.
Oh, okay.
TARDIS.
So basically, that's the thing that they use to...
It's a time-traveling device that can change its appearance on the outside to resemble things from the time period that it's going to.
Oh, see, I never even realized that.
It's called a chameleon circuit, but the chameleon circuit got fried on a trip to the 60s, and it just got stuck in the form of a 1960s police telephone booth.
Yeah.
Because back then in London, they had these phone booths all around where you could apprehend criminals under a citizen's arrest and keep them in this box, and then call the cops to come pick them up. And it just got stuck in that appearance.
That's kind of cool. See, I didn't even realize that it was that, you know...
I think Colin Baker, he fixed it. His doctor fixed it.
Okay.
And it was taking on different forms for a while, but the telephone booth had become so iconic at that point.
Oh, yeah.
They just took it back and just said, fuck it, I prefer this.
Yeah. I mean, I know I see it everywhere, and I mean, you know, there's dozens of collectibles of it, you know, all around the place, and I see a lot of guys actually on YouTube and stuff with it. That was what I was going to say also was... now we're not going to talk about that. Well, because I was gonna mention. So I was trying to look through my list here because I had a bunch of stuff. Did you see Zombieland yet? By the way, too.
Double Tap. Oh yeah, it was one of those rare sequels that was no better or worse than the first one, and that was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be better.
Was the ending not the best?
Oh, it was
with Bill Murray.
Nice. That was just awesome.
I mean, was that not the fucking coolest thing?
It's to the point now where you're just going to have Bill Murray in every fucking
Zombieland exactly.
It was. He goes with fucking. Bill Murray now goes with Zombieland the same way that peanut butter goes with fucking chocolate.
It was so incredible. I didn't expect it at all because it was an end credit scene, and it was like, wow, this is so awesome.
But yeah. To recap, give Doctor Who a try. Start with Rose. If you got Prime, do you have Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's on there for right now. It might be going away soon, so I'd give it a shot. I start with Christopher Eccleston's season. If you can get through that, the special effects, it's like Deep Space Nine with Star Trek. The first season is fucking painful sometimes.
You know what?
If you can get through it, it gets way fucking better.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, which is actually one of my favorite movies, haven't seen it in a while, is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It kind of reminds me of that same,
Douglas Adams actually wrote quite a few episodes.
That's what I figured, yeah. So, yeah. And I love that movie. I thought the movie was great.
That's actually getting a reboot.
God.
Not a movie. They're going to be doing a proper series for it.
Okay.
Because they tried that on BBC back in the day, back when back when Doctor Who was starting to phase out a little bit, because in the 80s, Doctor Who got a little fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And right around that time was when Douglas Adams was writing for Doctor Who, and he went on to... it was originally a radio show that got turned into a BBC TV series.
Okay.
Then books.
Oh, okay.
The books came third, I think.
Okay.
I think. I might be mixing up those last two, but I know the radio series came first.
Yeah.
And I love the fucking books to death. But they're going to be doing a proper series for it, because that original BBC series only lasted 6 episodes, and it was shitty. You could see the tinfoil wrapped around shit, you know?
Speaking of that, I don't know if you saw what I left on Culture Pop's Facebook. I think it was maybe it was my Facebook. But speaking of reboots, so they're in the works of remake Jaws.
Yeah.
And
Jim showed me that, and that was exactly my reaction. Why? I'm not going to go see it. I'm not going to go see it.
And they're getting, I guess, Spielberg is in talks to produce it. Why?
Of course he would approve. Because when you've got billions of dollars, what do you need except for billions more?
I just hope that it's not. I would rather it be a reboot than a remake. It better not be a remake. There's no reason to remake it. None.
Start up the franchise again with some sequels, you mean?
Maybe, or just maybe take a whole entire different...
Maybe spend an entire movie trying to explain why she just took time out of her whole fucking family getting murdered to have an affair with Michael Caine. You know, whole fucking movie and a half to do that. Just...
My thing is that they're not going to do it the right way, because if you notice... in all the shark movies that have ever been made since then, they still don't follow the rule of don't show the fucking shark. Right. I don't know how. I don't care how good your CGI is.
It's not going to.
The shark does. I don't know why they can make X-Men look real or Iron Man look real or Spider-Man look real, but
because there's people behind that. When they do an Iron Man movie, they don't necessarily have him in the costume, but they do have him in a fucking in a unicolor suit that's got little tennis balls all over it, you know? Or little golf balls all over it. And they motion capture that shit. That's why it looks natural. When they have a guy in a suit, there's a guy in the suit. You don't have an actual shark.
That's what I just don't... you can never make a shark look real as Spielberg made it, and the only reason Spielberg made it look real is because he never showed it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's rarely shown at all.
I mean, have you been to Universal Studios?
No.
I was there as a kid in Hollywood. I saw the shark, and it looked fake even at 9 years old.
Oh, yeah. Okay, of course.
I mean, it just pops out of the water very rigidly and mechanically, and then goes back under, and it's like it startles you at first, but after about 5 seconds of looking at this fucking thing, you're like, that just looks so fucking dumb.
And the other thing that he didn't do, because he probably didn't have the money or didn't think of it or whatever, is a lot of these shark movies, and there's a couple of shark movies that I've liked. I like Deep Blue Sea. I liked 47 Meters Down, the first one. Megalodon, I didn't like the CGI. But the thing is that you notice a lot of these shark movies, what they do is they intersperse and cut in real shark stuff, and then it looks even worse.
Yeah, because you can't compare your fake shark to the real sharks.
Yeah, exactly.
And have people fucking buy it. And you know what, by the way, this groan of discontent is earned. This man has had Jaws on his fucking phone for as long as I've been back in contact with him again. So this is long before this ever got announced.
I'm a huge Jaws fanatic. I always have been. My mom showed it to me when I was a kid, so that's probably part of it. And I grew up on it, and I did see every movie in the theater. Yes, that includes the fourth one.
I noticed you didn't include that on your list when you set up Voodoo.
No, no.
I also like on your Voodoo how if you order it in the order that it was purchased, it'll show me what mood you were in when you were. It's like, oh, he was thinking of Al Pacino that week.
Well, sometimes like I bought a couple things over the weekend only because they had a horror movie sale. I don't know why, and it was like some stuff was $4.99 that I didn't have. That's the only. Usually, unless it's a new release, the only time I buy a movie is if it's like dirt cheap. But so there was a couple of movies that I bought, like Bad Boys. I like Bad Boys, and of course Bad Boys is coming out, so they had a sale on it. So I got both of them for $10. So I'm like, all right, $10, because I do like the first two. The next one that's coming out, I have no interest in really. Right. I mean, it's
and
too
I might
late.
give those a watch actually sometime. And
they're good for what they are.
I noticed a long time ago that Jojo Rabbit was purchased, and it's just not.
It's still, I don't know when it's releasing, but I want to see it so bad. Is that when it is?
In the 20s, somewhere in February.
And I think the one that I'm waiting for is the Jay and Silent Bob one. Should be coming out this month. I heard January, so it's on my list, my pre-order list, and it's ready to go. But I'm just waiting for it to. I'm hoping maybe it's this Tuesday.
Good. I'm not going to spoil it.
I know because I want to see it so bad, and
we'll have a whole episode devoted to that.
Oh yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Because we gotta. I mean, in that episode, that should just be our Kevin Smith episode. The bulk of it would be reviewing Silent Bob Reboot, or Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and the rest of it talking about everything that came before and led up to it, because that man deserves it.
Oh yeah, I believe so. I mean, he's one of the ones that really got me into all the independent stuff. I wasn't really that much into independent film until Clerks came out, and when Clerks came out, I mean, it
blew my mind even in my 20s, and back then I couldn't get anybody to watch it. They're like, I don't want to fucking sit and watch a black and white movie.
Yeah, right. I mean, whatever.
Right.
And then
now that's like art films.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People eat the shit up.
Yeah,
But
and
can you imagine how much it would change Joker if they would release a black and white version of that?
you think so?
I think it would seem a little grittier.
I mean, it's possible. It's very possible.
I'm curious about that.
I'm hearing about a Joker sequel now. Are they talking about a Joker sequel now?
I've said before,
or something.
I have said before, the only way I'll be interested in a Joker sequel is if it is Joaquin Phoenix's version of the character sitting in front of a different psychologist than he was sitting in front of at the end of the first movie, giving a completely different origin story that leads up to the killing of Robert De Niro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Completely different story leading up to that.
Really?
Well, that was the public moment. That was the moment That's the moment that has to say the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the comics, the Joker has even said, if I have to have an origin, why can't it be multiple choice?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Which was the great thing they did with Heath Ledger.
Right.
You know, and but in the same thing, yeah. But that would be really cool. And but I don't know. I just heard talk that I know that Todd Phillips has said that, you know, the Joker and Robert Pattinson's Batman will never meet. It's not going to be from the same. Which I don't have any problem with that at all. I just thought it was an interesting kind of a thing for him to say.
Robert Pattinson's Batman might not meet too many fucking crowds of people going to see the movie either.
I don't know, man. Because he is a decent actor.
I'm not knocking the actor, and I'm not knocking the movie that's about to come out because I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's any good.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you don't take somebody who's got that big of a fucking stigma attached to him and put him in a high-profile movie like that and expect no judgment.
Well, yeah,
People
you're
are
right.
Fucking dumb.
But the same thing happened with Ben Affleck. I mean, when they chose him, I mean,
The same
everybody
thing happens
went
with every fucking actor
with every
they cast
Batman.
as Batman.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, Michael Keaton was considered a horrible choice when it first came out.
Mr.
Horrible
Mom,
choice.
you cast Mr. Fucking Mom.
Exactly. Yeah, and it ended up being, you know, a career definer for him. I mean, you know, and
It peppered every performance of Batman that came afterwards.
I think so. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think everybody draws a little bit on the whole Michael Keaton performance.
Who would you say? Who's your favorite Batman?
That's a good question. Honestly, I'm going to have to say Kevin Conroy, and I know he was just a voice actor.
I know. Okay, so who's your favorite Batman acting?
Acting?
I mean, I know Kevin Conroy still acts because he's a voice actor, but
Well, that depends on when you're asking me in my life. When I was younger, when all four of the original Batman movies came out,
yeah,
I would have said fuck George Clooney.
well, yeah, of course.
I would have said that Val Kilmer was my favorite of the my favorite Batman, but Michael Keaton was my favorite Bruce Wayne.
Okay, yeah,
because they are pretty much different people.
Yeah, they are. I did like Val Kilmer a lot. I thought he did a good job, and I still don't understand why they didn't just, well, maybe it was his choice, why they didn't stick with him for either the fourth one or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe he was opposed to those nipples. You never know.
He must have been opposed to something. I mean, and that totally ruined, the sad thing about it is it totally ruined Chris O'Donnell. Is that his name? Chris Donnell or Chris O'Donnell?
Yes.
It totally ruined his career. It really did.
Yeah, it ruined a lot of fucking careers. What did Joel Schumacher do after that anybody gave a fuck about?
True.
You know?
And I mean Arnold is probably the worst movie Arnold was ever in.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got quite a few worse movies
He
to
was
pick from.
miscast. They should have cast Arnold as fucking Bane.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
You know?
And the Bane was horrible in that one, too.
He was like fucking 5'4" and just roided.
It looked so cartoonish, and I understand maybe they were going for that comic book look, but I mean, there was a couple of things like the fight scene with Robin with the neon and all that shit. I understand what they were going for with the colors and the comic book aspect, but it's just so misspent.
I used to be able to describe Batman and Robin in 3 words. Or I'm sorry, 4 words.
What?
Power Rangers on ice. That's the same. And I can't watch more than 15 minutes of that movie at any given time without taking to the internet to nerd rage.
I don't understand why they haven't included Robin in more of them. That's what I don't get.
Well, he was actually originally supposed to be in the first Batman 1989 movie.
Yeah.
It was the Sam Hamm script had fucking Robin all through it.
Yeah.
But they wanted it to be Batman's own movie, and I can kind of understand that. The most screen time Robin's gotten in recent history, and history at all, is on that show Titans.
Yep. And I thought he was good in that.
I haven't seen a single episode of that because I refused to pay for another streaming service.
I thought he was really good in that, but I saw it, in a different way.
I suppose I could touch on my inner Jack Sparrow or something to see that.
Yeah, there you go. But and then the other guy, I guess, is going to be in Jason Todd. I'm trying to remember which one was in the Titans.
They're going to kill him? That was Dick Grayson, I think.
Okay, so Jason Todd, I guess, is in that new one.
Is he going to be Robin or is he going to be Red Hood?
I think he's going to be Robin. I'm trying to think of the show that you're talking about, that you talked about before with all the different superheroes on CW. That's going to be on CW or whatever. Infinite or what's it?
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I heard that Robin's going to be in that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And I heard that it's going to be the other
was
Robin.
Already in that, actually. They showed a shot of fucking Burt Ward walking along.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I mean the other Robin, because in the Titan show there was two Robins. There was the original Robin, which I can't remember if it was Dick Grayson. It must have been. And then Jason Todd shows up later because he's all like, he's got a different hairstyle. He's got a different Robin outfit, and he's supposed to be the new kid on the block. And
well, I know that. I know Tim Drake was the third Robin.
Yeah.
And he held the Robin title. Dick Grayson went on to be Nightwing.
Which I love Nightwing. I wish they'd do a show of Nightwing, but whatever.
Jason Todd came back actually as Red Hood. And no, actually, Tim Drake went on from being Robin to being Red Robin. And the current Robin in the comics is Damian Wayne.
Is it?
Yes.
See, it's been so long since I've watched it. So who's Damian Wayne?
Son of Bruce Wayne.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I forget who the mother was. I think it was Talia. Yeah, it was Talia al Ghul.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
And that's in the new comic books?
Newer comic books.
Newer, yeah.
This story's from a while ago.
Okay.
She actually raised Damian to be a member of the League of Assassins. And she figured the only way, since he has Wayne blood in him, the only way to be a complete person is to go spend time with his father.
Yeah.
So she sends him off to Bruce, who shoves him into a fucking pair of tights and says, "You're coming with me." And then of course Bruce Wayne died for a while, and because when you're a comic book character, you die forever. And during that period of time, Dick Grayson took over the role of Batman, and it was actually Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne running around for a while.
Okay.
Those were some fun books. I liked them.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to check them out. I used to read all the Robin comic books, when back in the day. And
I still have a few, actually.
Yeah, that's like one of the first tattoos that I ever got was from a Robin cover. I was always a bigger fan of Robin than Batman. I mean, I love Batman, but I don't know why. I like the older Robin. No. It definitely wasn't although I love the Burt Ward Batman, it definitely, I fell in love with him in the comic books. I think was more so because I just thought he was a better, he was more of a unhinged than Batman was. Batman had sort of in the comics at least.
Well, not the Dick Grayson version. I think Jason Todd was definitely unhinged.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Jason Todd was always my favorite of the Robins, actually, because of that, because he was such a contrast to Batman, and he did everything so differently.
Yeah.
Like, he was the kind, he wouldn't wait for backup. He would just dive right in.
Oh, wow.
And it's no wonder he got killed. Within
no wonder.
Within the fucking story, it's no wonder he got killed. But honestly, I don't blame the fans for voting him out in the first place.
Yeah.
Remember that? They did that whole call in and vote to see if Robin dies or not, and we fucking killed Robin.
Yes, we did.
And they're doing that again. There's another, I think it is Jason Todd, actually, in one of the TV series. I forget.
Really?
They're doing another
I got to find out who that guy is.
Need to vote.
Which one's playing on Titans? I know that the series 2 started up, season 2 already started up on Titans, I think. But I haven't watched that. I think the story was kind of complete in the first season for me.
Okay.
And I just didn't see any further much further.
I didn't like the casting choice for Starfire.
And
it had nothing to do with the fact that she had black skin. It had everything to do with the fact that she didn't have orange skin.
Yeah. There was a couple of people in that I kind of, you could tell it was done, and I always complain about this, but you can tell it was done on what I call a Canadian budget, even though it probably wasn't filmed. But I always say that because you can tell when a movie's filmed in Canada. You can really tell.
Like every shot in fucking Highlander the series, you can see Toronto.
Yeah. And it kind of comes out.
I'm sorry, Vancouver.
Because they're going there to do it because it's cheaper. But the problem is when you get it on the screen, it looks cheaper. That to me, that's just.
I'm sorry, it does not look like New York City.
No, it doesn't. No matter what you do. No matter what you do.
I'm sorry.
One of the how to get because we're running on time here.
Well, but I wanted to take a step back though and talk about the Bond movies again. I went to watch a Bond movie last night. I was wanting to watch because you don't have anything on your Vudu, do you?
No, because I can't figure out. Yeah, I can't figure out which ones I would want to buy because I do like a lot of them, but not all of them. I like Sean Connery. I like Roger Moore. Even the one guy, George Lazenby, that did it, the one film, he's pretty good
on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah, he's pretty good in that. And Pierce Brosnan, I liked.
I like Pierce Brosnan too, but that was my big problem last night. I didn't want to watch a Pierce Brosnan Bond. I wanted to get on there and watch a Sean Connery Bond.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I've seen any of those.
Oh yeah,
and I got on Netflix. I found every one of the Pierce Brosnan Bonds.
Okay,
none of the Daniel Craigs.
Really?
None of anything else.
Is there? There's
just
no.
The Pierce. I typed in James Bond. Maybe I'll try different search options.
There's none in Prime.
Let me get to that. I went over to Hulu because I remembered seeing a Bond category in Hulu at one point.
Yeah.
They don't even have the fucking Pierce Brosnan ones. So I went to your Vudu, and of course I discovered you didn't have any of the Bonds on there either. Went to Prime, and I'm like, well, at least maybe I can go rent one on Prime for $4.
Yeah.
They've got them listed on there, but when you click on them, it says not available. I went to watch License to Kill. I just clicked on License to Kill, and it said video not available. They're not even available digitally right now.
Who makes it?
That was MGM Studios, wasn't it? Back in the day?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know who does them now. The Daniel Craigs are all available, so they must be somebody different producing them or doing them.
Be. I haven't actually seen any of the Daniel Craigs except for the first one that he was in.
Now, did you know, and I don't know if this is the option that you want to go for, because you introduced me to this, did you know Pluto has a Bond channel?
Do they?
Yes.
I had no fucking clue.
They have an actual Bond channel that plays nothing but Bond movies.
My biggest problem with Pluto TV is the fucking ads.
Yeah, and I've kind of gotten out of that. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But they don't bother me anymore. I just kind of turn it off, and then when the movie comes back, I'm back on.
Well, I wish I could do that. I really do.
The problem is they're the same ads.
I was walking through Lowe's the other day, and I saw a big display for My Pillow, and I had to resist the urge to punch the guy's fucking face on the stand-up.
That's the only problem with Pluto TV. It's not so much the commercials, which I'm willing to deal with because they're usually only about 3 minutes long total. But the problem is they play the same ones over and over and over, and it's all that same stuff like My Pillow and the hearing aids and
Jim
yep and all. But
if I wasn't so certain that I would die, I'd go hunt down Chuck Norris and kick his ass for that Total Jim fucking thing.
But I'm willing to I'm willing to make that sacrifice with the commercials because the movies so far that I've seen are uncut, unedited.
Yeah, they don't care about any of that.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
they do an extra thing with Mystery Science Theater on there. They actually time the commercials to the commercial breaks.
Oh, do they? Okay.
So they'll have a host segment and say, all right, and commercial sign and hit the button and it goes to an actual fucking commercial.
Oh, okay.
They time it just right with them.
Well, that's good.
I do kind of like that actually.
Yeah.
But I could still do without them.
Yeah. But yeah, they do have a whole entire Bond channel, a binge Bond channel that plays Bond all day, they play all of them.
Now my wife's going to hate me for Pluto TV instead of the other way around.
I was just talking to somebody about Pluto TV and how, if you guys don't know out there, Pluto TV is an app or, whatever you can get on your phone. I know you can get on Android boxes. You can get it on... I
got it on my iPad right now.
iPad. You can get it on... I don't think it's available on PS or might be available on Xbox now.
I'm not certain.
But you can get it on certain TVs too that have, but it's called Pluto TV and it's really good because they play tons of different movies, they play tons of different shows, and they actually have a whole section of binge stuff where it's just binge channels. You can binge Unsolved Mysteries.
There's an entire Unsolved Mysteries fucking thing, which I'm getting, I got tired of that so quick. I mean, I used to love Unsolved Mysteries.
I did too.
But when it was only like once a week, I loved it when it was like, because my wife discovered that, and for like an entire week straight, every fucking 5 seconds,
update. I just wait for the updates. I love for the update. I wish they would keep it going though, because I know they haven't been updated in years. Right. So like if some of these people now have been caught, let's update them now, guys. Come on, somebody get to that. Let's find out.
There's somebody out there who knows. There's some sad, pathetic asshole.
There has to be.
In this fucking basement with fucking Cheeto stained underwear on right now, just poring over all the unsolved mysteries and trying to solve it. You're out there. You know who you are.
Oh my goodness. One of the last things I wanted to get to was, and I it's kind of more of a question than anything. I've been watching. I'm going to shout out to a YouTuber here. His name's the Carpetbagger. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not. There's a couple of guys that are really good at going to different places around the nation and showing you what they're like. One's the Carpetbagger and one is the Daily Woo, Adam Woo.
Okay.
And they both go to places like abandoned haunted houses, abandoned other places, but they also go to like roadside attractions that you never see anywhere.
Nice.
And one of the things that I really got into this that I found out was, I don't know if you remember this, I may be too old, but back in the day, probably 70s, early 80s, you used to be able to go to like the mall or maybe some kind of empty parking lot, and there would be...
Oh, you mean that place with the tumbleweeds right now?
There would be like a sideshow thing that you could go into. It wasn't just like it wasn't like a sideshow, a bunch of sideshows. Like I can remember pulling up at the American Mall one year, and me and my dad are pulling up there, and there's this big truck, and they were showing this big two-headed alligator in there, and you'd pay the money, you just go into the truck. And that was a big thing.
They had kind of a freak show thing at the Ohio State Fair when I went when I was a kid.
Yeah, at the fairs and stuff, they have that. But I don't know if anybody remembers that they would just pull into your town and do it like a mall or something like that.
I'd like to see a resurgence of that, but Amazon's kind of killing malls.
Yeah, true.
It pisses me off. I walk to work when I'm going to Rapid Fire. I walk through that parking lot every fucking day.
Yeah,
that I'm going to work there. Huge, empty fucking parking lot. And the ones who do drive through it have to drive where I'm walking. It's like, am I in your fucking way?
Yeah.
Huge parking lot.
Exactly. I know exactly what you're saying. But what I was getting to was...
Sorry.
No, it's all right. There's a guy I found out. I don't know if you've ever seen... Have you ever seen like the Fiji mermaid and that kind of stuff?
I have, actually. Yeah.
You know, the half fish, half... You know, and then there's an alligator boy that's half boy, half alligator.
We're starting to get into some fucking House of a Thousand Corpses.
Well, no. What it is what's really cool is I found out from this Carpetbagger guy that I watch that these are all what they call gaffs that people used to make. And there was a guy, and I haven't found much information on him. I'm really studying and going down the wormhole, named Homer Tate. Okay. And he's the one that made all these back in the day, like the Fiji mermaid. He would take pieces of what do you call it, on roadkill on the road and pick it up. He would find bones places or all different kinds of weird stuff.
We're getting into House of
and he would stitch all this stuff up.
I'm just imagining some fucking Otis Driftwood shit.
No.
They pull the curtain back and Bill Hader's fucking body is on top of a fucking fish thing.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's really cool that I didn't even realize that there was a guy who made these. You know, these little sites like the two-headed cow, that kind of shit that you see. Those are all, you know, of course, made. And this guy for years made these. His name was Homer Tate. And he would collect all the different stuff that you do to make them, and he'd stitch them. And they showed like some of his old stuff, like there was a old monkey head thing. But I mean, it was just
this up.
Check out Homer Tate. Well. And I if you like looking at stuff that you like, if you can't afford to travel, but you like sideshow stuff, or you just like off the road type attractions and stuff, check out the Carpetbagger because he's really cool. His videos are like 8-9 minutes usually, sometimes 15 minutes. But he even went into this guy's truck stop. And the truck stop had a horror museum in it. This guy had worked on horror films, and he's known as a truck stop now. But he put all of his horror stuff in there, and he made other stuff. And it was like a huge museum, and it was just off the side of the road somewhere in South Carolina, and nobody knew about. And that's what this guy does, goes from place to place like that.
Just don't take the Dr. Satan ride.
What's the Dr. Satan ride?
You need to see House of a Thousand Corpses. That never.
Oh yes, I haven't seen it in a while. I did see it once, and it disturbed me, and
that was the goal. So apparently it worked.
Yeah, some of the Rob Zombie films, like his remakes and stuff, like I loved Halloween. I loved both Halloweens he did. It was a different perspective on it.
So you can, when you listen to his early music, you can see where the movies came from.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, big time. I mean, he was in the White Zombie. I mean, and his name's Rob Zombie. I mean,
yep.
Yeah, he's very much so got a different. I did watch. He's had some bummers though. I watched Lords of Salem, and that was a real bummer.
I didn't get it.
I didn't either.
It wasn't scary because I didn't get it.
Yeah, it was. It just
like,
was strange.
I spent most of the movie staring at my phone, to be fair, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
If I'm staring at my phone during a movie, the movie's not grabbing me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know? Yeah, I didn't get into it. If I'm my
wife and staring at my phone during a movie, that just means I'm my wife.
Now, see, the other one, 31, I know you watched that, but that's more torture porn, isn't it?
No. It's disturbing just like the rest of his movies, but I wouldn't say it's torture porn.
Okay, see, because
torture porn to me is spending an inordinate amount of time just watching somebody suffer. There's an actual survival element to it, and it ends satisfyingly. Mm-hmm. So I actually kind of like 31. It wasn't that bad.
Okay, I might have to check it out. I don't know.
If you get a thing with clowns, I wouldn't, because that's a thing.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind seeing them in the movies. I just don't want them in my fucking house. A couple other things I want to get to real quick. What was the one I was going to talk about? I watched Surviving R. Kelly. I don't know, but man, that guy is fucking. He's dead. He's dead. He's gone. Some of the shit I saw in that thing was ridiculous. But I don't want to bring that one up that much. Oh, the last thing I wanted to bring up was there's a really good movie. I just put it on Vudu, and I found out from, it was either Chris Stuckman. No, it was the guy who does Good Bad Flicks. Another promo shout out for YouTube. Good Bad Flicks. And he promoted this one. He was talking about his favorite movies of 2019. I had never heard of this one, never seen it. It's called Summer of '84.
I saw that list.
Okay, it's good. It's like it's going to get comparisons to Stranger Things and stuff like that because it's kids in the '80s.
Okay,
on their BMX bikes and stuff, but it's not close to that at all. It's very, very unique. It's kind of independent, but it's more of a thriller with these kids kind of detectiving. They think there's a serial killer in the neighborhood, and these kids are kind of like become detectives about it, and it's really neat.
Because the artwork for the thumbnail actually looked a lot like the old VHS tape.
Yeah. And I think that it's kind of an homage to those kind of movies. Nice. It's more... like a lot of people would probably compare it to Stranger Things, but it's more Goonies. I would say it's like Goonies, but serious.
I compare those two anyways.
Yeah. But it is like Goonies, but like way more serious and way more intense.
I'll have to give it a shot.
And the kids in it are really good because they're not stars. So they really seem believable. No, they really seem believable. They really seem...
Because they just... Anytime there's a Stranger Things ripoff, they got to put Finn Wolfhard in it. And it's
No.
And he's okay, and I can't wait for Ghostbusters Afterlife, but he doesn't need to be in everything.
Yeah. Oh, no, he doesn't.
It's like it reminds me.
I know. He's in another movie, too, coming out. Some scary movie.
Back in the early 2000s when Wolverine was on in every team of... There was like several X-Men comics back then in 2000.
Yep.
And each one dealt with a different set of X-Men.
Of course.
There was like 6 or 7, but Wolverine was in every comic.
Yeah.
And there was an issue, I forget which one it was, because there were so many fucking X comics back then, but there was an issue where they're all standing in Cyclops' office bitching at him about their team assignments. And Wolverine just says, "Look, bub, I appreciate your confidence, but I can't be on every team."
And speaking of that, the last thing, I keep saying the last thing, that's funny though. Ethan Suplee.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen him?
I haven't seen him lately. I've heard he got thin though.
Holy shit. Dude, he's like...
Sailboat? Did he ever?
I don't know if he ever saw the Sailboat, but man, he is like this buff guy now.
Really?
Oh my God, it doesn't even look like him.
God, I remember the last thing I saw him in was Evolution.
Last thing I saw him in was a TV show I was watching. I can't remember. It wasn't My Name is Earl. It was something else he was on. But yeah, he looks like this big, huge wrestler now. He is just... his face doesn't even look the same. You can't even tell it's him.
It does happen.
But I want to bring that up because I'll probably put a picture up there of it. But I just couldn't believe it.
For those who don't know, Evolution had Orlando Jones, David Duchovny.
Yep, I liked it.
And what fucking Maud, her fucking...
yeah, I don't know her name, but I know who you're talking about.
God damn it.
That's actually one that they play on Pluto a lot, Evolution, and I've seen it a couple times.
It was supposed to be Ghostbusters 3.
Was it really?
That original script was supposed to be Ghostbusters 3, but it was one of the ones that Bill Murray didn't sign off on, so they just reworked the script and turned it into something else.
It was a good movie, I thought. I
thought so too. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
It's funny, and it has some unique stuff in it.
Stopping aliens with shampoo. What's not to love?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I mean, you got anything else? Do you?
Yeah, I got a bladder full of pee. The last time I had to pee this bad was at the drive-in when I saw City Slickers 2 as a kid. It actually hurt to get out of that lawn chair and walk to the fucking bathroom afterwards, and that's what's going to happen to me in just a few minutes.
All right, well, we'll let Fred pee, and I think this was a kind of a wrap-up episode of things going on. Welcome to 2020, everybody, by the way. We are now in the roaring 20s, I guess, again.
1/12/2020.
It is 1/12/2020.
Yesterday was 1/11.
Okay, so here's my thing.
I kept seeing 1/11 all day.
Here's my last thing that I'm going to mention. All right, I didn't want to interrupt you.
I got one last thing, too, but you go ahead.
I don't want to forget. I'm saying to everybody right now, start this hashtag, because I believe that federally they should legalize marijuana this year on 4/20/2020 at 4/20. Start that hashtag. Legalize. We'll put hashtag federally legalize on 4/20/2020 at 4/20. I think it would be perfect. I mean, it's perfect. And it'll federally legalize all of it.
I'll pass the hashtag along, but I'm not going to hold my breath because that sounds like a long wait for a train that won't come.
It does, but I know it can be done with just a sign of from the president or whoever the hell wants to do it, and let's get it going, guys. Come on. 4/20, it's the perfect time to do it. 4/20/2020.
And I actually forgot what my last thing was going to be.
Oh, shit, now because
No, it's the P.
Okay, all right. Well, we will see you guys again next week. We hope you're enjoying the show. Like and subscribe if you would, please. It really helps us, and we really appreciate it. And yeah, definitely leave comments. Even if you don't like and subscribe, leave a comment.
Right.
I mean, tell us how we're doing or not doing, or tell us what you want to see or don't want to see any more of, or whatever. Yeah, so culture pop, and we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Have fun.